Today, in history, there is a date that has fooled the entire world, not once but twice. June 7th looks like any other day, but hidden inside its hours are two extraordinary illusions that quietly rewrote the world you live in today. History doesn't arrive with cannon fire. Sometimes it comes as a humiliation on a cold train platform, or a lie printed in a magazine. The greatest forces shaping our world were born in raw human moments. June 7th holds two of the most powerful. One story, a man thrown off a train, and that humiliation launched one of history's greatest resistance movements. The other, a journalist who invented a subculture from scratch and convinced the world it was real. Both begin on June 7th. Colonial South Africa was a machine built on the premise that skin color determined your worth and your seat. A 24-year-old Indian barrister named Gandhi arrived in 1893 for a legal case. With no idea a train ticket was about to change human history. Gandhi had a first-class ticket from Durban to Pretoria. He was a trained barrister in a three-piece suit, by every standard a first-class passenger. But in colonial South Africa, that standard had a silent asterisk. For white passengers only. The train stopped at Pietermaritzburg. A white passenger had complained. The conductor calmly told Gandhi to move to the baggage car. Gandhi refused. That refusal on that dark platform, in that cold, is where everything truly begins. He was physically removed, his luggage thrown out after him. The train continued into the dark, as though nothing happened. Gandhi sat alone in an unheated waiting room all night. No coat, no answers, a first-class ticket he wasn't permitted to use. In that freezing room, Gandhi asked one question: fight or go home. Every part of him wanted to leave. But he recognized, sitting in the cold, what happened wasn't personal. It was systematic, and systems, unlike insults, can be dismantled. That night, Gandhi conceived Satyagraha, truth force, the idea that injustice could be resisted not with violence, but with dignified refusal. The British Empire spent 6 decades unable to break a man who simply refused to move. All traced to June 7th, 1893. Gandhi didn't go home. He stayed 21 years, built the first civil resistance movement of the modern era, returned to India, and led 300 million people to independence. One night, one train ticket, one world changed. Now let's talk about the lie. 83 years later, same date, June 7th, 1976, a revolution was being engineered inside New York Magazine. The city was broke and desperate for joy. Journalist Nick Cohn was about to give the world exactly what it needed, real or not. Cohn was a brilliant British journalist, bored with his assignment, cover Brooklyn's disco scene. He walked into the 2001 Odyssey nightclub, stood at the edge of the dance floor, and felt nothing. He didn't connect, so he made it up. Cohn didn't interview the regulars. He borrowed a memory, a mod from 1960s London, and transplanted him into Brooklyn. He invented Vincent, 19 years old, king of the dance floor. The rituals, the hierarchy, the tragedy, all of it fabricated. His article, Tribal Rights of the New Saturday Night, landed in New York Magazine and detonated. Millions read it as documented truth. The world he described was so vivid, so precise, the public accepted it as gospel. What people believe is real becomes real. Producer Robert Stigwood optioned it immediately. Travolta was cast. The Bee Gees scored it. Saturday Night Fever opened in December 1977, grossed $94 million domestically, and launched a global disco explosion, all built on a story Cohn had invented. In 1997, Cohn confessed. Writing again for New York Magazine, he admitted Vincent wasn't real, the rituals were fabricated, the whole article was, his words, a fraud. He'd invented it, and the truth had rearranged itself entirely around his fiction. What that fiction produced, $237 million worldwide. A soundtrack selling 40 million copies. A billion-dollar industry. The Bee Gees at their peak. John Travolta's career. A movement reshaping identity across 6 continents. A lie that became the architecture of reality. Now June 7th reveals its secret. On one June 7th, A brutal truth was forged into a philosophy that freed a billion people. On another, a precise fiction freed a generation into joy. History was made both times by completely opposite forces. Gandhi and Cone never met. Different centuries, different moral universes. But both discovered the same secret. Reality is not fixed. Gandhi proved oppression only holds because people believe in it. Cone proved a culture can be conjured if the story is told with enough conviction. Here is what June 7th has always been telling us. History is not made by facts alone. It is made by the stories we choose to believe and the stories we are brave enough to tell. A truth can dismantle empires. A fiction can build worlds. We are the story we tell about ourselves.